Have you had the misfortune of being left hanging by Coinbase customer support for weeks? Or are you tired of trying to access your Coinbase account in volatile markets only to discover it's down? Unfortunately, the internet is awash with people who have experienced just that. Yes, Coinbase is the go-to option for most people wanting to get in and out of crypto. However, there are many people who don't have to deal with all those Coinbase-related issues. Why is that? Well, it's because they're using an alternative to Coinbase. My name is Guy, and in this video, I'm going to go over my 5 favorite alternatives to Coinbase, the pros and cons of using each of them, and I'll compare them side by side. Now, before I get started, you need to know that I am no financial advisor, and that means that this video is for educational purposes only. Be sure to consult your financial chap if you're planning on making any moves in the crypto space. Oh yes, and if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. On Coin Bureau, I regularly cover all things crypto, which includes things like in-depth coin reviews, my personal analysis on the markets, and other useful guides. So if that sounds interesting, then be sure to bash that subscribe button and flick those notifications on. That way, the chaps over here at YouTube will let you know whenever I release another video. Okay, all set? Let's do this, people. Now, I'm going to kick things off by giving you an overview of some of the problems happening over there at Coinbase. If you know all about that and want to skip ahead to my top alternatives, then just use the timestamps I provided right over here. So, why are so many people giving Coinbase a hard time? Well, the first gripe many hold is that whenever there's high volatility in the markets, there is a pretty high likelihood that Coinbase will suffer an outage. Picture yourself seeing Bitcoin going on a tear and not being able to trade on your account. That's a feeling that all too many Coinbase users have experienced, and it's infuriating. Put it this way, the outage problem is so widespread that Coinbase has actually been added to websites that track outages at other popular services like mobile networks, etc. Another frustrating issue that many have to put up with is that of frozen or closed Coinbase accounts. If you don't believe me, then just take a few minutes out and have a look around Reddit, where you'll find numerous people reporting that Coinbase shut down their accounts without just cause. Again, infuriating. Things get even worse when you understand why Coinbase shuts down some accounts. Basically, when you withdraw your coins from Coinbase, they track how you spend those coins. If you do anything with them that they object to, then the chances are they will shut your Coinbase account down. That includes things like paying for raunchy services or content, crypto gambling, or even just reselling those coins on an exchange that doesn't have any know your customer or anti-money laundering processes. What that means is, if you're like me and partial to a bit of a flutter, then you want to be careful not to use those Coinbase coins to do that. Now, sadly, there are some cases where it just seems that some users have got on the wrong side of the Coinbase algorithm, and that leads to them being treated unfairly. Now, even though I'm a bit of a libertarian at heart, I have to say it seems pretty reasonable to me that Coinbase would shut down accounts if you've got involved with some shady stuff on the darknet. The problem is that if you unknowingly accept tainted coins and try to cash them out on Coinbase, then that could result in your account being shut down too. Anyhow, now you know some of the main reasons why Coinbase could shut down your account. I'll be honest with you, after finding all this stuff out, I made very sure that I would never use Coinbase to cash out any crypto I got from my friend Mad Mike. Oh, and if you're out there watching, buddy, I'm afraid I might have seen some stuff in your internet history when you last lent me that laptop. If that wasn't bad enough, it seems that Coinbase is upping their surveillance game, following reports that they will soon be selling blockchain analysis software to the US government. Another major problem that I have personally been on the receiving end of is shoddy customer support. Basically, if you enjoy getting support responses that don't really address your question, then Coinbase is the right choice for you. Honestly, I suspect that the customer support over there have a database of responses they simply copy and paste, and that's why they never really seem to address the actual issue directly. If you're persistent, then you may have some luck over there at Coinbase. However, just don't expect your issue to be resolved on the first try. That would be wishful thinking indeed. Although this won't impact users directly, I do want to tell you about how Coinbase has in the past applied for patents for things like hot wallets for holding Bitcoin and Bitcoin exchange. That kind of stuff is clearly not Coinbase's innovation, and trying to patent such concepts flies in the face of the open source nature and the philosophy of Bitcoin, not something that I like one jot. Finally, we move on to the subject of fees. Put simply, Coinbase is pretty much the most expensive option you'll find out there. Trading fees start at 0.5%. Also, if you want to deposit with a debit card, then I hope you like getting shafted. Coinbase will basically charge you 3.99% of your entire deposit in fees. That's right, if you deposit $10,000 by card, you will pay $399 in deposit fees. Then, to add insult to injury, you'll have to eat another 0.5% trading fees when you actually buy crypto. Now, I know it sounds like I'm an out-and-out Coinbase hater. However, I'm not. There was a time when Coinbase really was the easiest way for newcomers to get their hands on their first coins, and, in my opinion, they used to have the best fiat gateway. However, these days there are a growing number of global exchanges that have expanded and started providing fiat options. This means that there are actually a plethora of different ways to buy crypto with fiat. So if you were wondering if the grass is greener on the other side, I have you covered with my 5 Coinbase Alternative picks. Let's take a look at them. Alrighty, I'm going to be straight up with you guys and just say that these picks are in no particular order. First up, I have Gemini. This exchange has been up and running since 2015, and in my book, it's one of the crypto industry's unsung heroes. Yes, it doesn't pull the kind of volume that Coinbase does. However, Gemini has been ahead of the curve in many respects, particularly when it comes to intuitive interfaces. Speaking about being ahead of the curve, that's something that Gemini's founders, the Winklevoss twins, have a knack for. Way back in 2002, the Winklevi founded a company called ConnectU. A certain chap called Mark Zuckerberg evidently thought ConnectU was onto something when he plagiarized the concept to found Facebook. Now, all that didn't end too well for the Winklevoss twins when they sued successfully and were awarded a miserly $65 million. Turns out that the Winklevi knew a thing or two about investing and spent $11 million of that Facebook windfall pretty wisely buying up 1% of Bitcoin's circulating supply way back in 2011. I personally find it fascinating that you have the Winklevoss twins on one hand making billions of dollars through investing in decentralized technologies, and their nemesis Zuckerberg making a killing through his ascent to global data baron and crowning himself king of worldwide surveillance. Anyhow, enough ranting about the Zuck. What you need to know is that Gemini is based in New York and is quickly becoming one of the most well-respected exchanges in the space. It's also a favored option amongst institutional clients due to its strict compliance with existing regulations. So, who can use Gemini? Well, if you're based in any US state except Hawaii, then you can create an account here. Other supported countries include most of Europe, South Africa, South Korea, India, Canada, Australia, and other nations in both South America and Asia. If you want to see if your country is accepted, then be sure to check out the link to the full supported list in the description below. I now want to move on and talk about Gemini's features. The first is that the exchange's interface is super friendly for crypto newbies. Yes, some people may find the big buttons saying things like buy Bitcoin a bit obnoxious. However, I won't lie, it really does all make buying crypto a breeze. The good news is that Gemini also has more advanced traders covered with their Gemini Active Trader interface. This basically offers things like advanced charting, additional trading pairs, different order types, and allows you to see the order books. However, to get access to that, you'll need to contact the chaps at Gemini Support, so just bear that in mind. Gemini also has a pretty damn sexy mobile app. It makes it almost too easy to buy crypto. However, the thing to know here is that this app has limited functionality when it comes to complicated trades. So, if you want to bumble on and buy crypto easily, then this is the perfect app for you. However, if you are the type of person that's looking to place advanced trades, then you should certainly look at other options. Now, a common gripe people have with Coinbase is excessive fees. So, how does Gemini stack up? Well, the good news is that Gemini doesn't charge any fees for bank wire and crypto deposits. However, you should note that you will pay much higher fees if you do not use the Gemini Active Trader interface. With web orders, there are two types of fee. The first are transaction fees, which are honestly extortionate for any transaction amount. The lowest possible fee you'll pay here is 1.49% of the entire transaction, plus a convenience fee of 0.5%. What all that means is that you'll be paying 1.99% in fees if you use Gemini straight up. That's frankly way in excess of industry norms. However, the good news is that the Active Trader fee schedule is way more reasonable, with fees starting from 0.35%. That compares favourably to Coinbase's 0.5% trading fees, and unlike Coinbase, you won't have to pay any deposit fees either. When it comes to withdrawal fees, just be aware that you'll be forking out 0.001 Bitcoin to get your coins off Gemini. That's around $10. So if there's one thing I want you to take away, it would be this. If you want to save on fees, then only use Gemini's Active Trader interface. All that brings me on to deposit methods. It's all pretty straightforward here. Gemini only take bank transfers for fiat deposits. If you deposit using a non-US bank account with a different currency, your funds will be automatically converted into USD, and that may incur exchange rate fees, so watch out for that. You can also deposit any cryptocurrencies supported by Gemini. These include all the cryptos right here. Customer support at Gemini is done through an online request form, very much like Coinbase. However, unlike Coinbase, I have personally got responses back from the chaps at customer support here in less than 24 hours. When it comes to security, Gemini is perhaps one of the most secure exchanges out there, with no security breaches of any kind to date. That's most likely because the Winklevi take regulatory compliance bloody seriously, and the fact that the vast majority of crypto on Gemini is stored offline. Oh yes, US customers can also be safe in the knowledge that US dollar balances are covered under FDIC insurance, and that's good for balances up to $250,000. So, who is Gemini for? Well, in my humble opinion, it's for anyone who values security and regulatory compliance above all other things. However, just be aware that there are a limited number of supported cryptocurrencies, and that you will get crushed by fees unless you use Gemini's Active Trader interface. My second Coinbase alternative is Bittrex. This is another US-based exchange which was established way back in 2013. Another fun fact is that all three of the company's founders previously worked at Microsoft back in the day. Now, I'm sure Bill Gates doesn't make a habit of hiring riffraff, so that surely has to be a good thing. Here's the thing that confuses a ton of people about Bittrex. It's basically two exchanges in one. The first is plain vanilla Bittrex, which focuses on serving the US market, and that sadly means there are fewer assets listed here. Then you have Bittrex International for everyone else. Well, unless you're living in any of these restricted countries. With that little overview out of the way, what tasty features does Bittrex have? Well, one of the main draws of this exchange is that hundreds of cryptocurrencies are supported. That's a hell of a lot of coins when you consider that Coinbase only gives you access to 29 in total. Unlike Gemini, Bittrex supports an additional euro on and off ramp too. So, to all those Europeans out there, you might want to consider this exchange if you want to avoid those pesky foreign currency conversion fees. Bittrex also updated its trading engine in 2019, which means the trading platform was up to 20 times faster, is more scalable, and it also came with upgrades like euro trading. What all that means is that Bittrex is less susceptible to outages than Coinbase when markets become volatile. When it comes to fiat deposit, Bittrex supports a few more options than Gemini. Wire transfers, credit and debit card deposits are all supported, along with crypto, of course. What's important to note here is that Bittrex does not charge any fees for bank wires. However, intermediary banks may bolt on a fee, so be sure to check that out. If you were hoping Visa card deposits were free, then I hate to burst your bubble. On Bittrex, you'll be charged 3% for that deposit method. That's a lot. However, it is cheaper than Coinbase's 3.99%. Trading fees at Bittrex are significantly lower than those found on Gemini and Coinbase, with fees starting from just 0.2%. Withdrawal fees are also around half the price of Gemini's at 0.0005 5 Bitcoin or around $5. When it comes to customer support, you can submit support queries through the Bittrex website. However, I'm going to level with you. The fastest way to get a response to a query is reaching out via Bittrex's Slack, Twitter, and Facebook pages. Oh yes, and when it comes to mobile apps, Bittrex has you covered regardless of whether you have an Android or iOS device. Here you can trade any of Bittrex's supported markets on the go, and it's a damn good app if I say so myself. When it comes to security, Bittrex is one of those few exchanges that has never had their systems breached or lost any customer funds. Interestingly, they have an elastic multi-stage wallet strategy which always keeps 80% to 90% of user funds safely offline. So that brings me on to the major question: who is Bittrex for? Well, honestly, I think it's a top choice for beginners who want to use an exchange that has never been hacked and wants access to hundreds of different cryptocurrencies. However, I do want to be honest and say that the customer support was not the best I've ever come across. So if that's important to you, then I would certainly look at other options. The third exchange I want to show you guys is Bitstamp. This was founded way back in 2011 and was one of the first exchanges created to compete with Mt. Gox. So if you're looking for an exchange with a really well-established track record, then this could be the one for you. Bitstamp accepts traders from 60 different countries. This includes the likes of the US, EU countries, Australia, Brazil, China, and South Korea, to name a few. I provided a link to the full country list below. The exchange accepts deposits and withdrawals via SEPA, card, international wire transfer, and of course crypto. Crypto deposits are free and Bitcoin withdrawals are charged at just 0.0005 Bitcoin, which is less than $5. Fiat deposit and withdrawal fees can be seen right here. When it comes to trading fees, Bitstamp starts at 0.5% and scales down to 0 if you're doing whale levels of trading volume. When it comes to crypto support, Bitstamp adopts a quality over quantity approach with trading pairs for Bitcoin, XRP, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Stellar, and Paxos. Now, I know it doesn't sound as if Bitstamp is shooting out the lights here. However, customer support is one area where this exchange shines. Email support is pretty damn fast, with most queries being sorted within 24 hours. Also, if you have anything urgent, then definitely use the phone support. Honestly, the support agent I was connected to really knew their stuff. So, is Bitstamp safe? Well, I have to level with you, it has not all been plain sailing. The exchange was hacked back in 2014 and 2015. That second hack resulted in 29,000 Bitcoin being stolen from the exchange when someone phished credentials from Bitstamp employees. However, the result of all that was a re-evaluation of security protocols, and now 98% of funds are held offline in cold storage. Since the hack in 2015, Bitstamp has been incident-free and has built a reputation as being one of the safest exchanges in operation today. So, who is Bitstamp for? Due to its low SEPA transfer fees, Bitstamp is a cracking choice for anyone based in Europe. However, I'd love to see them add more cryptos, and some beginners may not find the interface very intuitive. My next pick isn't going to be much of a surprise to anyone. It's Kraken. Now, I'm not going to dwell too much on this one, as I've recently done an in-depth review pitting Kraken head-to-head with Coinbase Pro. So, if you're interested in that, then you can click on the video right here. That brings me on to my final pick, and that has to be Binance. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard of Binance and how it's the place to go to stock up on altcoins. What many people do not know is that Binance has been on a tear when it comes to adding fiat currency support, with over 50 different currencies added. That includes some pretty exotic currencies like the Kenyan shilling and the Kazakhstani tenge. Needless to say, the US dollar, euro, and the British pound are also supported. So, how does it work? Well, Binance has a multitude of fiat crypto platforms like Binance Uganda, Binance Singapore, Binance US, Binance Jersey, and their up-and-coming Binance UK platform. The thing to know is that the right site for you will depend on which country you're based in, as fiat deposit and withdrawal methods vary. That being said, in the US, you can deposit using ACH, domestic wire, and debit card using Binance US. When it comes to fiat deposits on Binance.com, I'm just going to cut through the waffle and tell you what the cheapest method is for most people. you'll want to use Banksa as your third-party payment option. If you're based in Australia, you'll want to use Poly as your payment method. It's free. Ideal is free for those based in the Netherlands, Faster Payments bank transfers for those in the UK, and SEPA for anyone based in the EU. Yep, you heard me right. You can deposit fiat on Binance with 0 fees. Pretty sweet. When it comes to fees, Binance crushes every other exchange mentioned in this video. In the worst case scenario, you'll pay 0.1% in trading fees, which is half the cost of Bittrex and 5 times cheaper than Coinbase. You can then further reduce that with higher trading volume or grabbing a 25% trading fee discount by paying your fees in BNB coin. Binance's crypto withdrawal fees are also the cheapest I've found for any reputable exchange out there, with Bitcoin withdrawals costing just 0.0004 Bitcoin, or just under $4. Oh, and just a quick point here. I know that withdrawal fees are contingent on miner fees. However, I viewed all these exchanges at the same time with the same network conditions, and Binance still had the lowest. Moving on to asset coverage, naturally, as the king of altcoin exchanges, Binance has hundreds of coins available. To be honest, pretty much any crypto worth owning is going to have a trading pair here. Binance provides email support via a form on their site. I'm going to level with you. Even though I've used Binance a ton, I've never had any reason to contact support, so I honestly cannot comment on that. However, that should tell you something important. You're unlikely to have any issues using Binance. When it comes to security, yes, back in 2019, Binance was hacked and $40 million was stolen. However, all affected holders were fully reimbursed thanks to Binance's Secure Assets Fund, or more commonly, the SAFU Fund. Despite that slip-up, I honestly don't have many worries about holding a small trading balance on the exchange. So, who is Binance for? Well, in my book, everyone should have an account here. In short, Binance is the king of crypto exchanges. It has the best liquidity for most cryptos, one of the best selections of altcoins, and offers a ton of other services like staking, crypto loans, and derivatives trading. Okay team, that is my roundup of the best Coinbase alternatives on the market right now. If you're interested in signing up to any of them, be sure to check out the links in the description below. Now, I've spoken quite a bit about exchange safety. However, I will be frank, I don't recommend anyone keeping their coins on an exchange unless you're in the middle of a trade. Seriously, people, use a hardware wallet for maximum security. And keep hold of your own private keys. Check out my safest wallet video if you want to learn more about that. You know what they say after all, not your keys, not your crypto. Now, I know there was a lot to take in there, so kudos for hanging on in there. I do want to hear your thoughts though. Is Coinbase really that bad? Have I missed any Coinbase alternatives? And finally, thank you for watching. Please do drop me a like if you like this video and sub if you want to see more crypto content like this real soon. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, but honestly, I have so much more that I want to share. Stuff that I couldn't really fit in this video, sadly. This is exactly why I've started a weekly newsletter. It's basically a compilation of all the interesting content that may have flown under your radar. News, reviews, analysis, and hot market tips. Wanna join? Well, don't delay. Just scoot on over to the description where you'll find a link to my sign-up form. There you can enter your email address, hit submit, and hey presto, you are a Coin Bureau insider. My next newsletter is being worked on as we speak, one you won't want to miss. See you next time, chaps.